I brought my daughter 5 hours a day to the babysitter. And so one morning I had dropped her off and she had been sick that morning. And so it was all I could do to get her out the door, get her dressed, get me dressed, get her fed. And so I came back home and I was going to walk in the door and just jump into work. Well, because she had been sick and I was working from home, the smell of baby sickness and bedding that needed to be cleaned was just like, oh, it was awful. And so I ended up in the laundry room doing laundry. And that's when I just had the biggest meltdown and just sobbing these ugly tears because I felt like there's so much that I needed to do and there wasn't enough time to get it done. And I know sometimes when we cry, it's kind of clears our head. And so after a good cry, I had this powerful question come to me, and it was, Sabrina, if you can only get one thing done today that's going to move this business forward, what can you do?
Hey friend, welcome back to the Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where we talk about visibility, collaboration, and momentum without burnout. I'm your host, Linda Mendable, your virtual summit queen, web designer, and visibility strategist, helping mompreneurs simplify visibility and multiply impact without daily posting. Today's guest is someone who's redefining what freedom looks like for entrepreneurs. Dr. Sabrina Starling, the business psychologist and author of the 4-Week Vacation, is here to share how to design a business that runs without you so you can finally enjoy the life and family you're building it for. And before we jump in, a quick reminder, the CEO Moms Get Social Virtual Summit is almost here. It kicks off November 12th through the 14th. It's 3 days of faith-filled strategy and real-life systems to help you grow your business without the hustle and how to use AI strategically. Grab your free ticket at monetizingmompreneur.com or hit the link in the show notes. All right, friend, with latte in hand, let's go ahead and dive into this powerful conversation with Dr. Sabrina Starling. I hope you got your beverage of choice.
Mompreneurs, it's not business, baby. It's business and babies. Whether you're rocking the carpool line, building your business during nap time, or dreaming big after bedtime, we've got the tools, tips, and strategies to help you grow your business. Grab a snack, your headphones, and enjoy this time with us because mom life and boss life deserve balance.
Dr. Sabrina Starling, the business psychologist, is the international best-selling author of How to Hire the Best and the 4-Week Vacation. The third generation in her family impacted by entrepreneurial hustle culture, Dr. Sabrina coaches entrepreneurs to take their lives back from their businesses. Dr. Sabrina has been on a quest to answer this question: how do you grow a profitable business and enjoy a good quality of life? Entrepreneurship is in crisis. 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs are burning out. Grinding it out is grinding us up. That is Dr. Sabrina's slogan, I would say, or motto or manifesto, but it is certainly on her TED Talk. Yet 1 out of 10 entrepreneurs is thriving. These entrepreneurs are achieving 3 times the revenue of those burning out. What else are they doing differently? This is what Dr. Sabrina reveals through her speaking and teaching. After coaching thousands of entrepreneurs and conducting research with over 700, Dr. Sabrina has developed the Tap the Potential solution. This solution is specifically for entrepreneurs with successful growing businesses to take their lives back from their businesses while the business grows profitably without their daily involvement. Dr. Sabrina is changing the story of entrepreneurship from one of long hours, grinding it out, to that of sustainability, or that of sustainably. I'm kind of reading that wrong. I'll skip it.
Okay.
After all, work should support life, not the other way around. Dr. Sabrina's work has been featured in Forbes, entrepreneur.com, and Thrive Global. She is the founder of tapthepotential.com and the host of the Profit by Design podcast, globally ranked in the top 5% of most popular shows by Listen Notes. Listed in the Daily Hustle's top 50 entrepreneurs to watch in 2022, Dr. Sabrina is on a mission to send 10,000 entrepreneurs on a 4-week vacation in 10 years. Dr. Sabrina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Linda. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to support mompreneurs in taking their lives back.
Yes, absolutely. I was listening to your TED Talk and I was impacted by it because, it's so true about sometimes when entrepreneurs go on vacation, they don't top out, right? They take their work with them and
Yes.
they don't just close it out and have no access, right? There's always a follow-up call. There's always an email. There's always something, right?
Yes.
Something's on fire.
Yes. And I think what's really hard about this is we go into business as mompreneurs for ourselves so we can have flexibility. That's why I left my career and left my job and started my business. I wanted to be able to be present with my family and I wanted that flexibility. But the irony is as our businesses start taking off, and become successful, we become more and more tied to the business. The business really takes over our lives. And the saddest thing is the lack of emotional presence that we have with our loved ones when that happens. So we may have the flexibility to go on vacation and take our laptop with us, but are we really connecting with our kids and our spouses when we're at the pool or the beach typing away, sending out that email or our phone buzzes? We are not present. We're not enjoying it. And my experience has been life is precious, life is short. We need to savor our time with our loved ones.
And that comes from a really profound place that you say that, because I remember in your talk, you were talking about how your husband, Ned, he asked you asked him what can be a 10 in, as far as your relationship, and he requested more time. And even though you weren't in a position to do that, you did.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yes. So it was our anniversary and we were going out to dinner. And I just got to thinking about what do I want to talk about with Ned over dinner on our anniversary? And the question came to me of, I wonder what he would say if I were to ask him if our relationship were at a 10, what would be going on? And there's a key to that question. I didn't ask him to rate our relationship currently because, that's a no-win. That's like asking your husband, does this dress make me look fat? There's no right answer to that. So I just said, if our relationship were at a 10, what would be going on? And his reply to me was, well, we would have more time together. And I thought that was kind of it was surprising to me to hear him say that because we both have businesses and work from home. And we spend a lot of time together. Like we travel together, we get babysitters for the kids and go on date nights. And working from home, we see each other every day. And so I said, tell me more about that. And he said, well, I don't know, like maybe let's start taking Friday afternoons off, just the two of us, and go play. And I thought that was a good idea in theory, but I work a 25-hour work week because I want to be present with my family. And so squeezing a 25-hour work week down to a 20-hour work week felt really hard. But I didn't say any of that to Ned. I just thought, I'm going to figure this out. And I just put the limit on my calendar and said, I'm going to stop working at noon on Fridays. And I'm so glad that I did, because Ned passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, like a few months after that. And we had those precious afternoons together. We made more memories together. And it was a tremendous, it has been a tremendous loss for me, but I have no regrets in our relationship because I built a business that supports my life from the ground up. And it's crazy to me because when I built this business, when I started out, I had a newborn daughter and I didn't want to put her in daycare for more than 25 hours a week. And so that's what I said. I said, I'm going to work just 25 hours a week. And I've been doing that for the last 20 years. And all along, I was doing it so that I could be a mom. But what I didn't realize is that it also gave me the space to be a tremendous wife to Ned and for us to have important quality time together that has given me a lot of peace as I've gone through my grief journey. And I see, and the other thing I need to share is after Ned passed away, it was so sudden and it was unexpected. My team stepped up right away and said, Dr. Sabrina, we've got this. You just take all the time that you need. And they ran things for 6 weeks without me. I mean, I completely checked out. I could not do anything work related. They took over and ran things. And what has been beautiful about that is as I came back, I did not take those responsibilities back that they took on. And that's really key when we have team members and we delegate something like we're going to be out for a short period of time. A lot of times we feel guilty that we've put stress on our team members because they're having to do extra work. And then we come back and we're like, thank you so much. I'm so sorry you had to do all this extra work. And then you take it right back. Well, one of the things that I've learned is when we delegate responsibilities to our team members and they step up and they do it, they feel excited to show that they're capable and competent to do those things. So we're actually undermining our team members when we take those activities back. And so I didn't take anything back, including hosting my podcast, Profit by Design podcast, which is my baby. I've been hosting that for, I think, 6-7 years. And my colleague, Melissa Kay, had taken it and run with it, and it was doing great. And so I didn't take it back. So now I appear on the Profit by Design podcast pretty regularly as a co-host / guest, but I don't do anything beyond just show up and share my experience and my knowledge to support business owners. And so now I'm down to working 10 hours a week in my business. And so I know from all the years of coaching entrepreneurs and through my own experience that limits force innovation and creativity. And any small business owner is capable of working a 25 and a 10-hour work week when we get really clear on what our $10,000 an hour activities are. And that's what I'm really excited to be sharing with mompreneurs is how to make your time worth $10,000 an hour. This is something that I did when I started my business, when I had that newborn baby and I was just working 25 hours a week. I got completely overwhelmed by all the things. I was a brand new coach at that time, so I was still learning coaching. And then I was trying to build a business, so I was having to learn how to build a website. I was learning how to market my business. I was learning how to do the bookkeeping, all the things. And this was before social media, so that wasn't even a pressure. And now we have social media where we feel pressure to be posting on social media too. And so I had all these things coming at me. And I brought my daughter 5 hours a day to the babysitter. And so one morning I had dropped her off and she had been sick that morning. And so it was all I could do to get her out the door, get her dressed, get me dressed, get her fed. And so I came back home and I was going to walk in the door and just jump into work. Well, because she had been sick and I was working from home, the smell of baby sickness and bedding that needed to be cleaned was just like, oh, it was awful. And so I ended up in the laundry room doing laundry. And that's when I just had the biggest meltdown and just sobbing these ugly tears because I felt like there's so much that I needed to do and there wasn't enough time to get it done. And I know sometimes when we cry, it's kind of clears our head. And so after a good cry, I had this powerful question come to me, and it was, Sabrina, if you can only get one thing done today, that's going to move this business forward, what can you do? And so I immediately knew my answer, and I just did that one thing. And when I left my office that day, there was a long list of things that didn't get done, but I actually felt like, oh, it's a small win here. I've done something that's valuable that's going to build this business. And so the next day I came in the office, same feeling of overwhelmed. The to-do list was a mile long. And I just said, okay, Sabrina, what's the one thing you can do today that's going to move this business forward? I did that, took about an hour, and then I had about 4 hours left to start just chipping away at the to-do list. And I started realizing that I was looking for my highest value activity that I could do each day. And then a few years later, Gary Keller wrote the book, The One Thing, and he has a really elegant version of this question. And that is, what's the one thing I can do right now such that everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? And I have been paying attention over the last 20 years as I've worked with entrepreneurs and their team members. Each of us has unique gifts and strengths. And there are things that come easy to us that do not come easy to others. I love being on podcasts. I love teaching and sharing. I have other team members who are tremendous at what they do, but they don't want to be on podcasts and teaching and sharing. They have other strengths. And so what I've come to appreciate is that our $10,000 an hour activity is when we are working from our strengths and we are making everything else easier or unnecessary for ourselves or others. And so that means that every person on a team has $10,000 an hour activity, not just the entrepreneur. And it's my job as the owner of the business to identify my team members' strengths and move them into roles where they are working more and more from their strengths. I don't think it's ever perfect. I don't think it's ever 100%. But gosh, if somebody can be working 75 to 80% of the time from their strengths, when we do that, it energizes us. And it gives us and we have better and better ideas and things come easy to us. And then when we're focused on how do I make everything else easier or unnecessary on this team for our clients or for other team members, now we're creating a highly efficient operation that has the potential to be profitable. And so early on, I had created a chart of $10,000 an hour activities for myself because I noticed how easy it was to give away my time, especially as a new business owner, because you've got to make money. And so if a client needs something or, there's some opportunity, I would just give away my $10,000 an hour time. And so I started calling it my $10,000 an hour time because if I put it on my calendar that way, it's harder to give it away. Right? It's harder to schedule over a $10,000 hour. And I created this chart to identify what are the $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000, and $10,000 an hour activities that I'm doing in my business, because it's really easy to spend all of our time doing the $10 or $100 an hour activities that don't move the needle. And that keeps us stuck in the survival trap. So like email, posting on social media, those kinds of things will eat up our time. And so when I created this chart, I printed it out, I laminated it, I put it behind my computer monitor so my eye would fall on it regularly. And it really let me see, okay, if I've just been spending 2 hours nose down, I was in my email for 2 hours. And that was a huge awareness of I could have been doing at least an hour of $10,000 an hour activity, and I just gave it away to email. And so as I did that, I became better and better at protecting that time. And one of the things that we've noticed at Tap the Potential as we've worked with small business owners is if you give us 5 hours a week of $10,000 an hour activity, we can get you to the point of a 4-week vacation in 12 months' time. And so it's that, and I share that because when we are that intentional with our time, what we can accomplish in our businesses is amazing. And what our clients are seeing is that they can go from working 60 hours a week down to 40, down to 25, down to 10, and take extended vacations fully unplugged. And it all starts with this awareness of what is your $10,000 an hour time. And so I am really excited to bring the mompreneur community the chart of $10,000 an hour activities. You can download it.
Thank you so much for, sharing your story and your revelations. And I'm so sorry for your loss as well. And the reason why, and thank you so much for sharing and just being open to share, because I know how grief can really be something difficult to kind of like, I wouldn't say triumph over, but just to get over, right? Especially when it's such a deep loss. And we've had, a couple of perspectives with different entrepreneurs that have had losses. I'm like, okay, Lord, what are you doing here? That we have, people that have experienced some really deep losses. And I think what it is kind of like to not take life for granted. Because I think sometimes when we go on these entrepreneurship escapades or journey or adventure, we can take the time with our loved ones for granted.
And even after experiencing such profound loss, I find myself taking things for granted. And so, like, now I'm back to being a single parent again, solo. Everything is on me. So I'm busy, busy, busy. And just this morning, I was driving my daughter to school, and there was a beautiful sunrise. And we just stopped and we looked at the sunrise together. And I thought, wow, you know what? It's an honor to be able to drive her to school. Even though it's tiresome and it's one more chore on the list of things, what a privilege to get to spend this time with her in the car every day. And so I think for us mompreneurs, it's very important to hold that perspective that cooking dinner for our kids, cleaning the house, whatever we're having to do that feels like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, to remember it is a privilege.
Amen. Yeah, because we can grapple with that, right?
Yeah.
We can fight at night. I don't know, for some reason at night is where I'm like thinking about all the things, and like I'm trying, my husband is already snoring, 2 seconds in. I'm like, how does he do that?
Right. And all your to-do list and all the
Like,
things that are running through your head.
yes, or everything, or the whole day just, okay, I did this, I did that, I could have done this better, I could have done that better, but they don't even go into that. I don't know
Yes.
what it is. I feel like that's magical. I'm like, you're so lucky. Sometimes I wake him up. Just kidding, I don't. I should. I should.
On my mind.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
you're sleeping. I can't sleep, so you can't sleep. Hello.
Yeah. Right.
No, but I had a question before I had this interview with you. Before I remember, I always like to kind of like ask God these questions and just put it out there. And usually he brings the answer. And I feel like with this interview, he kind of like brought the answer over. And the question was kind of like, how do I look at this time as a mompreneur, raising children? And, because I'm not always, but a lot of times I'm looking at the future and I'm just thinking about like, well, I hope I have an amazing relationship with my kid in the future. And I hope that they, you get what I'm saying? Like we go into all these like would've, should've, could've. And the question was, is the work that I'm currently doing meaningful work, not just for me, but also for the people that are around me?
Yeah.
Right.
That's such a powerful question. And, I have a 19-year-old daughter and she works in the business. And just yesterday, she sent me a message, Mom, I need you to give me like 3 statements about what you do in the community you serve. And I thought, why? I mean, you've grown up with this business. You work in it. Don't you know these answers? And she said, yes, but I want it in your language. And one of the things that I see is when we align our work with our values and we identify what are our core values, and then we start using those as our decision-making filters, not just at work, but everywhere in our lives. That's where our lives really come to a 10. So I've been using a tool called the Wheel of Life for years with myself and with our clients. And that's where you rate your satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10. That's where my question to Ned came from when I asked him that on our anniversary. And if we're not at a 10, and usually we're not, when we start looking at what would be going on, it means that we need to align that area of our life with our core values. But we have to know what our core values are first to be able to do that. But once we get things in alignment with our core values in all aspects of our lives, that's where we really start to feel fulfilled. And that's also, I think, where I know that's how we guide our children. Because the best thing we can do as parents is to teach our children to make decisions in alignment with their core values, not our core values. They need to identify what their core values are and make their choices. And I'm in the midst of that with a 19-year-old, teaching her to make choices that are right for her in her life. And boy, I wish someone would have done that for me when I was starting out, because I was so focused on societal expectations and what I was supposed to be doing. And as I have made intentional choices all along, I found myself much happier in my work. And we spend so much time at work. So if we're not happy in our work, our lives aren't going to be happy either.
Yes. And it's like what you said, which is very powerful about the strength, like focusing on the strengths that you have, because usually you will be more energetic with the strength, right? You'll be able to do more because you're only focused on the areas that you are strong in. And usually the areas that you're strong in is usually correlates with the areas that you love.
Yes.
You know, right? Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll just use my daughter as an example. She loves to train and ride horses, and that's what she wants to do for a career. It comes naturally to her. She is happy when she's outside working with her horses. And as a mom, it would be very easy to say, oh, no, you need to go to school. You need to go to law school, or you be a doctor, or whatever. And I don't want her to do that. I want her to follow what's right for her. And I also know in the back of my mind, she can make a business out of whatever she loves doing and be successful. And there's a lot, the potential there is endless. There's so much.
Absolutely. Our kids are our little hearts outside of ourselves, right?
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Sabrina, this has been enlightening and amazing. Where can people find you?
The best place to go is tapthepotential.com. And don't forget to download your chart of $10,000 an hour activities. And then tune in to the Profit by Design podcast every week.
Yes, thank you so much. And Dr. Sabrina is one of our speakers for the Monetizing Mompreneur Summit happening this November. Make sure to get your free ticket and catch Dr. Sabrina's presentation, which is going to be beyond a blessing.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Friend, wasn't that such a powerful conversation? Dr. Sabrina reminded us that success doesn't have to cost us our peace. That the real win in business is building something that supports the life God gave us, not the other way around. If this episode spoke to you, take a second to screenshot it, share it in your stories, tag me at Linda Mendable, and also at Monetizing Mompreneurs. I'd love to know your biggest takeaway. And don't forget, the CEO Moms Get Social Summit is here. Join us this November 12th through the 14th for 3 transformational days of strategies, systems, and stories to help you simplify visibility and grow without daily posting. Grab your free ticket or upgrade to VIP at monetizingmompreneur.com. The links awaiting in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up with faith, simplicity, and purpose, because with God, all things are possible.